deer for miles. We'll drag it back to camp. Cook us up some venison. What do you think? Think we can cut around this chewed up part right here?
Man, would not risk that.
Damn shame. I got some squirrel, about a dozen or so. I'll have to do.
Oh, God.
Come on, people, what the hell? It's gotta be the brain.
Wow.
You gotta love this show, man.
Yeah, that was a blast from the past.
That's
Season 1.
Walking Dead, The Walking Dead. And we have one of the mainstays on that show. One of the reasons a lot of folks like to watch it, man. Norman Reedus is here, ladies and gentlemen, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. You like watching yourself?
You know, it's I kind of watch it like a doctor. I'm like, oh, that's when they pull up that temp music. They edit it there. I watch it like that now. So
You're dissecting it, right?
I dissect it because I'm like, I could do that job. I could do that job. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Wow, man. Congratulations on all the success.
Oh, thanks.
Season 10, like, you know, in this day and age, man, that shit don't happen.
Yeah. And, too, like I had dinner with one of our with Scott Gimple, and he said that season 10, every episode this season has gone up in ratings in season 10, which is bananas. Like
every episode.
It's crazy. Yeah.
What do they do? I know they try to research why it happened. What are they accredited to?
Coronavirus. I don't know. I have no fucking idea.
Yo, he's the greatest, yo.
The timing and the setup of that one.
It was a joke.
It's so good.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious. DB.
I have a quick funny story, if I may, because a friend of mine, I've been wanting to meet you for a while because a good friend of mine, Danielle, said she met you at the Levee in Brooklyn a while back. This was around the time when Walking Dead first started. You were trying to get tickets to a Gwar concert, but you couldn't, so you went to the Levee, and she came up to you and cursed you out for wearing a Warriors t-shirt, and she didn't realize that you were you. And so finally, when her friend said, that's Norman Reedus from Walking Dead, she was like, oh, fuck, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she said that you were like super cool about it. You didn't get upset. So that's why when you were talking about fame earlier, I was like, how you deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, especially over this amount of time. And so when you're chasing something like Walking Dead from season 1, where it was just like explosive hit right out the gate, to season 10 now, it's almost like that success can be a double-edged sword, where it's like, it's great we're lasted this long, but how do we keep refreshing the show so people don't get bored with it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think, like, some of the recipe is in that?
It's, I mean, like a virus. I think we have to continually, adapt to our surroundings. I think that show is, what's great about it is it never sits still. It's constantly moving and changing. And it's crazy doing interviews 10 years in about the same show, because and I get I'm doing Fallon tonight, and the pre-interview, I'm like, we talked about that 4 times on your show already. So you have to keep it fresh. But what the writers, what they do is
we're doing this again, huh?
But the writers are really good at introducing new characters, new storyline, and keep moving. And I think it's people have watched this gray on my chin come out of my face. They've watched that character go from somebody who would side eye you and try to rip you off, and you couldn't trust him, to slowly squaring up to you, and when he says something, he means it. Like, he doesn't lie. He's like, he's found this sense of family with these people that he never would have hung out with if there wasn't this apocalypse. So I think you grow with the characters, I think.
Norman Reedus is here, man.
Norman, this is totally to the left, but being how you quote unquote got discovered, are you a person, like, you have faith, like, or a strong spiritual person? Because I would just think, like, as Sway mentioned earlier, how your day started, or the day before, it would just seem so crazy. You got to stop and, like, hey, maybe somebody's up there watching over me.
I wasn't raised religious at all. But I had a grandmother. She was an Italian grandmother that I think is watching me. Yeah. I think that's what's up. I think I have, like, an army of people watching me, because I've been low, I've been high, I've been low, and somehow I pull through. So somebody's definitely looking after me. I don't know who that is, but I'm very thankful.
You're grateful. You gotta be grateful. Yeah. I love the show Ride with Norman Reedus. I really love. I ain't gonna lie. I love the Dave Chappelle show episode, especially because of the conversation.
Yeah, we had real talk the whole time. I think I think if you're that funny, people want you to be funny all the time.
Yeah.
And I had met him before because he was a fan of Walking Dead, so he would come to our premieres and stuff. And I'm walking through the Soho area, and I hear this, Norman. And I turn around, I'm like, there's a whole crowd of people. I don't know who's saying it. Norman. And I turn back, he's like, it's Dave Chappelle. I'm like, oh, hey. He's like, I want to be on your motorcycle show. I keep calling AMC. No one's calling me back. And I'm like, I'm going to make that happen.
What?
And
what the hell?
Yeah.
Dave, no, sorry.
Somebody just got fired from AMC, right?
No, but I think they were like, yeah, sure.
Right,
You're Dave
yeah.
Chappelle. And, that dude, like, I mean, like we ended that episode in Savannah, and he was the surprise guest at a comedy show. And people just lost their mind when he walked up there, and then he starts ragging on Trump, and then he starts ragging on this, and we're like, there's like good old boys all around me. There's a dude who has a knife this big sitting next to me, and I'm like looking at the security guy. I'm like, you see the knife on the table, right? And they start going boo, and he's like, yo, relax. And then he turned that whole room into a love fest in like 45 minutes. Like, I mean, people were like arm in arm. Because he's got the gift. That's a gift. Like, you can't learn that, He's a special guy. Like, super talented, but like while we're shooting Bride, he it's one of the late night shoots, and he goes, hey, Erykah Badu's having a birthday party. I need to fly to, I think, Dallas or somewhere like that. He's like, Dallas? And he's like, I think I have to fly to Dallas. I'm going to fly. I'm going to come right back. I'll be here at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, there's no fucking way you're coming back, right? So I'm trying to put a security guard on the plane with him. I'm like, do you like this guy? Do you like this guy? I'm like trying to sell him security guys. And he's like, no, I don't need a security guy. I'll come back. And I'm like, you know what? Give me a hug. If you don't come back, I love you anyway. Dude was 6 o'clock in the morning. The next morning was in the lobby before anybody. Like, let's go. And I was just like, wow,
Adam, a professional, man.
Yeah. I mean, but just as a guy, like his stories, and when he took off in the middle of the night from his job, he was like, I know how to make an exit. He's like, he's just, he talks about his wife, like he's great. He's like he's a fucking great guy. Yeah.
Is that why you wanted to do this series, the ride with Norman, Reedus series? Just to get those kind of stories and moments, or
I didn't know that would happen.
Okay.
I ride a motorcycle to work every day in Georgia when we're down there shooting, and one of the execs at AMC was like, we have an idea for a show, and Bourdain was like super popular at the time, and that still is. But I was like, yeah, travel the world on a motorcycle, sure, why not? And I shoot that show in 4 days each episode. It's like bang, bang, bang. It's like it's not work at all, really, and it started off as kind of a gearhead show. Like, this is a so-and-so engine with so-and-so parts, and it was super boring. And, fans of Walking Dead would come mob us, and, we'd shut down production. Like, wait till they're gone and start. And I'm like, why don't you just incorporate the world into the thing, and it'll be more natural? And we did, and it became great. It became way more fun. It more interactive with people of all cultures and 4 wheels, 2 wheels, whatever. And they go, you know what, you should go right. I know you're going left, but go right. And we'll go, let's go right. And we always found the best stuff. And as when you have a helmet on, like you have helmets on right now, or the earphones, but it's kind of like talking to a therapist, or because you're out there for like 3 hours on a bike. And you get through the bullshit conversation of, hardy har, and, look at that and look at this. And then you start talking for real, and you get there eventually. You don't rush it, you don't force it, but you find it. And Chappelle was one of those, like, gems, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So are you, man. Norman Reedus, man.
You should take him to Oakland, man.
To Oakland?
Yeah, I'm from Oakland.
Do you know the East Bay Dragons?
Of course I know the East Bay Dragons.
We rode with the East Bay
You
Dragons.
rode with the that's a famous bike organization.
Oh yeah.
The Wise Guys, another one.
We went into their clubhouse and met the president, met all the people in there, and they're like, Well, first off, nobody goes in that clubhouse.
Yeah.
Like nobody.
Yeah,
right?
you cannot without an invite.
Yeah. And I walk in and there's all these big dudes with their vests on, and there's this man in a chair. He's sitting there, and I could listen to him all day. He was great. And at one point I was like, you know what, you remind me of my pop, and he just starts laughing. And they just embraced us. We were riding maybe 200 bikes in a row through Oakland, through San Francisco.
Yeah.
And we go by the HA headquarters, the Hells Angels, and I'm talking to the guy in the helmet. I'm like, you're cool with them, right?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, they throw the best parties.
Yeah.
And we go by and like, they're all outside waving to us, you know. And I guess the head of that chapter and the East Bay chapter, they get together and meet like at a Chinese restaurant and have coffee like once a month just to like be cool.
Yeah.
It's motorcycle culture is. It's different than like the 70s movies where it's like, Harleys only, Now everybody kind of accepts everybody. There's I always say if I'm on a bike and I break down on the side of the road, it's going to be another motorcyclist that stops and helps me. And it's always like that.
It doesn't matter where they're from, what political affiliation they have, what religion or no religion, whatever their situation is like that. East Bay Dragons and the Hells Angels, but East Bay Dragons is they've done a lot of work in the community of Oakland over the decades. So, yeah, man.
We went to the where they had the Black Panther, the first meeting at the bakery. One of the dudes that still owns that bakery. So we all rolled up in there and,
they told the history.
Had cakes and cupcakes and stuff. And we all, it was awesome.
Yo, that's great, man. Man, Norman Reedus, man, I knew it was something about that. I knew it was something about you, man. I want to thank you for coming on the show.
That's a pleasure, man.
And joining our conversation and adding to this conversation, man. If you ever back out here, man, come hang out with us, man. We ain't even got to promote nothing. Just come hang out with us.
I love it.
But we can promote too, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Norman Reedus, ladies and gentlemen, executive producer and host of the show Ride with Norman Reedus. You got a season 5 coming?
We're shooting it right now. I just got back from New Zealand like 2 days ago.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. And then also Walking Dead, man. The Walking Dead, man. Make sure you watch that too. We want